He's going. Have you read that that bloody blog from the dude from The Guardian about Crocodile Dundee? Mate, that is hilarious. That guy's full having a dig at Dundee. The guy said he's racist, homophobic and sexist. Or transphobic. He said Dundee's transphobic and we shouldn't be like glorifying Dundee. You know what I mean? Bloody hell, mate. Can anyone have a laugh anymore? Can we not joke? So funny, eh? I remember like this year, or last year, my mate made me this knife. It's so funny. How funny is Dundee? It's like, you call that a knife? This is a knife. And then we see on that episode of The Simpsons how it's like, you call that a knife? Well, that's not a knife, that's a spoon. You know what I mean? This knife my mate made me by hand, right? And I killed a pig with it at Christmas time. And I haven't washed it yet. Still got like a bit of blood on there and that. It's disgusting, eh? And I ate that pig for my 30th. It's bloody delicious. But yeah, you know, this guy, whoever wrote that article for The Guardian, you got to read it. It's bloody... We need to bring back a little bit of larrikinism, you know what I mean? The bogan. I say the dusty bogan is the most hated of all people on the earth. The left hate the dusty bogan. You know, you look at, they hate the bogan, the larrikin, because they're just a simple, plain-spoken person who just says what they think. They're not reading off the teleprompter like Obama, you know what I mean? They're not reading from the script that, you know, the leftists want us to read by, you know what I mean? All that identity politics and all that victimhood, you know what I mean? Dundee was a legend, mate. Remember how he did like that, was it? And he tamed the animals? What a hard case. Bloody hell. So I think he's a legend. I think we need to bring back the larrikin spirit, because at the end of the day, life, we need to not take ourselves too serious. You know what I mean? You don't, look at me, right? Just have a crack at life, put your best foot forward, don't take life too serious, you can have a laugh, you can laugh at yourself, you're going to make failures, you're going to take a step. If you want to try something, right, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to be a bit light-hearted. You're going to have to, oh, that didn't work out, have a laugh, keep going. That's a bit of the larrikin spirit. You know what I mean? And that's why people, you look at Donald Trump, this is why people like Donald Trump are plain. The guy's a billionaire. The guy is a billionaire. And there's two people who can say whatever they want in this world. And it's the bogans and the larrikins who are probably that broke, you can't sue them because they got nothing anyway. Or there's the billionaire who just says it as it is because you can sue him and he's got enough money to keep it going. You know what I mean? So we've got to bring back the larrikin spirit, you know what I mean? Just the have-a-go spirit, you know what I mean? I think, as a Christian, I think that larrikin spirit, we talk about like the Anzac spirit in Australia, don't we? And I think that larrikin spirit, it's like in the Bible how they, you know, when they got given the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost. Originally the day of Pentecost was the day the law got given, and Moses came down the mountain and gave the people the law, right? But Christians, we celebrate the day of Pentecost because that was the annual celebration of when the law was given, and that's the day the Holy Spirit came. And when the Holy Spirit came, it said the people thought they were drunk, like, because maybe they were like, I think being drunk on the Holy Spirit, it's like the Anzac spirit. It's like the larrikin spirit, you know what I mean? because it's something about being comfortable, not being ashamed, having it go. That the early church, when they got the Holy Spirit, they weren't afraid. They just said. They weren't afraid. They said what they believed in here. You know what I mean? What they believed about Jesus. And I think that's what the church needs now. That's what the world needs now. We need that spiritual power, that spirit, the Spirit of God, where they said they were drunk. Everyone said they were drunk. And then was it Peter who said, no, they were drunk on the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? That's what the church needs. That's what we need. We don't need communist, left-leaning systems of law and control, big government, you know what I mean? We don't need that. We don't need Islamic law, that law that crushes us. We don't even need, it's like, that's the funny thing about when the Holy Spirit came on the day of Pentecost. He's like, nah, God's like, I'm doing a new thing. I'm going to give you spiritual power. That's what we need. We need spiritual power. We need something in here to relax in ourselves, know our identity, because they're going after the identity of people, you know what I mean? But I think the people of Australia, the people of the world, we need to know our identity. We can be proud. We should be proud. We should be larrikins. We can have a joke and a laugh, relax. Don't have to be so offended. Because what did Dundee do? He was chatting up a tranny, right? Having a chat and a yarn with her, treating her normal. And then his friend at the pub was like, you know, it's a man dressed as a woman. You know, it's a tranny. And then what Dundee do? He grabbed him on the pussy like Donald Trump, right? And what he said, like, I wrote it down, man, I can't see it. He's like, that's a man? A guy dressed up like a Sheila, look at that. That's what he said. And they said that's when he's transphobic. Dundee was transphobic. Oh, mate. Oh. They said he was racist. You know what I mean? They called Dundee racist in this article because they were asking him about land rights in Australia, and he said, they don't own the land, they belong to it. And this journalist is saying Dundee's racist. I reckon that's a pretty cool statement. They don't own the land, they belong to it. I reckon that's honouring them. I reckon maybe Dundee was honouring that tranny because he was chatting to her, treated her like anyone else, like a bloke. And they said he was homophobic because a dude was going to jump off a building, right? And Dundee talked him out of it, and then he realised the guy was gay. He talked him out of it, and then he hugged him, and then he realised the guy was gay. He was talking about his boyfriend he broke up with, and Dundee was like, oh, get away from me. He almost fell off the building anyway. You know what I mean? So this guy's having a crack at Dundee for just being a larrikin. But I think it's a joke. We need to bring back, look at this larrikin sitting in his sauna in his backyard after a hard day's work, sweating like a filthy pig, can barely breathe in here, it's so hot, you know what I mean? But that's all you're going to get from this larrikin, you know what I mean? My mullet hat. So I reckon when the new Dundee movie comes out, let's all go watch it, and I reckon we could all have a crack at watching the next Dundee movie, and I encourage everyone to have a good Australia Day. Invite Aboriginal mates around and make sure you make them feel loved and honoured and respected. Tell them to bring that Aboriginal flags. Celebrate together with them. I know at my house I'm going to clip a goon bag on the clothesline. I'm going to drive my ute in the backyard, and I'm going to set up my 2 wheelie bins so everyone can get a photo with the ute and the flag and the wheelie bin. You know what I mean? It'll be real funny. And we're going to have a barbecue. We're going to have like bunning snags. It's going to be real funny. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be bogan. You know what I mean? Larrikin and all the Aussies and the Aboriginals and everyone who lives here. We're all going to get along. We're not going to hide the tragedies of the past, but we're going to honour each other. We're going to honour what we created. We're going to do it a different way. We're going to do it the good way. You know what I mean? So cheers, eh?